Hey, shalom.
Shalom, shalom. How are you doing?
I'm good, Baruch Hashem. Welcome to our wonderful listeners, and thank you for sending us your thoughts and reflections throughout the week. It really means a lot.
A big thank you. Whether you're a regular or tuning in for the first time, we're so glad you're with us. And whew, I'm melting here. It's so hot outside. Thanks for turning on the AC.
What happened to you today? You're all red and out of breath. Here, have a cold glass of water.
Ugh, don't even ask. On my way here, I forgot where I parked the car. Then, once I finally remembered, I realized I'd forgotten the keys.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, brach, as they say. So, you had to go back in this heat?
Yeah, I'll survive. But you know what? In the end, it turned out to be for the best. When I went back to get the keys, I saw I'd left the window open, and they're doing construction right by my place today. So maybe I forgot the keys for a reason. I closed the window, went back to the car, and believe it or not, it all worked out in the end.
That is such our classic you story. So, Gamzo Latova, it was all for the good. And that actually leads us straight into what I wanted to talk about today.
Wow, I forgot about that too. So today we're talking about forgetting.
Yep, today's topic is forgetting.
Great. Let's dive in.
Yalla, Zaznu. So this week's Parsha, Ki Tetse, contains a huge number of mitzvot, 74 to be exact.
Whoa.
Yep, one of the parshiot with the most mitzvot in the entire Torah. Most of them are about civil and social laws, ben adam lachavero, marriage and divorce, vows, charity, theft, fair labor, treatment of strangers, orphans and widows, and so on.
And here it comes, the but.
You got it. But one mitzvah stands out. It's different from the rest. It's about something you forget to do. The mitzvah of shichecha, forgetting.
Allow me to read the pasuk. When you reap your harvest in your field and forget a sheaf in the field, you shall not go back to get it. It shall be for the stranger, the orphan, and the widow, so that Hashem, your God, may bless you in all the work of your hands.
Thank you. I think there are a few reasons this mitzvah is not just different, but special. First of all, it's not done intentionally. The mitzvah applies when a person forgets a sheaf in the field. That forgotten bundle is called an omer. When you reap and accidentally leave it behind, the mitzvah is do not go back to get it.
So essentially, it's not a conscious act at all. The mitzvah only applies if you forgot.
Exactly. And we'll get deeper into that in a moment. But first, just like the other social mitzvot in the Parsha, this one reveals something profound about the relationship ben adam le'atzmo, between a person and their possessions, and ben adam lechavero, the vulnerable people around them. Your field isn't only yours. There's space in it for someone else. The orphan, the widow, the stranger. Even if you worked hard, it's a shared good.
I think there's another layer here. Let's call it trust. If you realize you left a sheaf behind and you still leave it there for others, only you know what you forgot or didn't. And if between you and yourself you choose to leave it, that's where the Torah says you earn a special blessing, so that Hashem may bless you in all the work of your hands.
Beautifully said. You've hit the core of it. This mitzvah calls us to generosity not just through action, but by recognizing the limits of our control. Even what we don't do, even what we forget, can become a mitzvah if we let go and don't turn back.
That's really unusual. I mean, in many places, the Torah warns against forgetting, like, Pen tishkach et hadavarim asher ra'u einecha, lest you forget the things your eyes have seen. Forgetting is often seen as worse than willful wrongdoing. It signals inattention or carelessness.
Like forgetting your best friend's birthday?
Hey, ouch. Hey, okay, I'm not perfect.
Hakol tov. Just teasing. But seriously, you're right. Usually we fulfill mitzvot by remembering. Like it says, V'schartem et kol mitzvot Hashem va'asitem otam. You shall remember all the commandments of Hashem and do them. But here, it's forgetting that fulfills the mitzvah. There's actually a little story in the Tosafta that highlights how unique this is. It tells of a Chassid who forgot a sheaf in his field. When he remembered it, he was overjoyed. and told his son to bring 2 offerings to the temple, an olah and a shalamim. His son was confused. Why such joy over forgetting? And the father explained, all other mitzvot are fulfilled with awareness and intention, but this one came about through divine orchestration. It's as if Hashem wanted us to forget and brought us this blessing, just like the pasuk says, when you reap your harvest and forget, so that Hashem may bless you.
Wow. So you could see it as a lapse or a failure of memory, but maybe it's really a divine event?
That's exactly the idea. In Chassidic thought, forgetting the sheaf isn't just human error. It's a gift from Hashem. Want to go even deeper?
Yes, please.
So I'll tell you, I once heard a wonderful shiur on this from Harav Eyal Vered. Let's see how much I remember. One thing that really stands out is that the Torah describes the owner of the field forgetting a sheaf of grain. You see, it's not his workers, it's not the guys he hired to bring the harvest into the barn. It's him, the landowner himself, who forgot.
That's pretty rare. I mean, you could imagine a worker not noticing something, sure, but the owner? Usually he's the meticulous one, supervising every detail of his property. An owner isn't someone who easily forgets things related to his crops. This is basic business, don't you think?
And that's exactly why, as we saw in the story, the Chassidic tradition and other commentators too, of course, see this kind of forgetfulness as a sign of deep closeness to Hashem, an expression of divine love. You see, there's no way to fulfill this mitzvah intentionally. If someone tries to forget a sheaf, well, then they haven't really forgotten it.
So it's like Hashem is knocking on the door of a person and walking in. You're saying that Hashem steps in directly into a person's life without that person consciously intending it.
Yes, Al-Sheikh HaKadosh takes it even further. He says this mitzvah isn't really about helping the poor, because Hashem has other ways to provide for them. The point is, Hashem wants to bless you. And this is his way of doing that. Like you said earlier, it's about trust. No one else would know if you snuck that bundle back into your storage. But Hashem has a fascinating way of finding you a place for blessing in your life.
Looking now carefully at the pasuk, the blessing is not just about the field. It says, so that Hashem your God may bless you in all the work of your hands. That's everything you do.
Exactly. And notice something else. It does not say, Bechol ma'aseh yadecha asher ta'aseh, all the work of your hands that you do. It leaves that part out. That might hint that the blessing even applies to what you did unintentionally, in passing, or even what you'll do in the future.
That's amazing. We usually see forgetting as negative. Let's not go back to birthday guilt again. But in this case, it's actually a gift.
Let me add one more thought. Why does Hasidic thought see this as such a wonderful thing? This week was the Yortzeit of Revi Tzadok HaKohen of Lublin. He wrote that Hashem gave us the power of forgetting so we could let go of pain, disappointment, or sin and move forward. In fact, he says that someone who's truly done teshuvah no longer remembers their sin. That's a sign of complete return. Teshuvah Gemura. Reb Tzadok calls it shikecha dikdusha, or holy forgetting.
I see. Forgetting creates space to grow. If we're always full of the past, whether mistakes or even accomplishments, we can't move forward. Forgetting makes room for renewal. And maybe when those memories do remain, it's Hashem reminding us there's still more to heal. But once healing happens, the memory, it fades.
You got it. And that's true not just for ancient farmers. Today, in the digital age, with everything documented and saved, sometimes we block the blessing of forgetting because we keep replaying the past.
A person's a person, not an angel. We're not meant to carry every memory forever.
What you just described, without saying the term, is basically psychological repression. Forgetting, as in letting go, is a form of emotional protection. And it can even apply to good deeds. Forgetting can protect us from arrogance, so we're not full of ourselves. It makes room for new acts of kindness. It's like writing a paper. You finish it, send it out, and then you forget it, so you can start something new.
That reminds me of a funny story. Can I share it?
I love your ridiculous stories.
You know this one. A guy tells his friend, every time I argue with my wife, she gets historical. His friend says, you mean hysterical, right? No, he says, I mean historical. She brings up everything I ever did wrong in the past 20 years.
Oh, boy. That's actually not far from the truth. There's a midrash, I can't remember where exactly, that asks why Hashem created us with this flaw of forgetting. After all, he could have made our minds perfectly retentive, but that's exactly the point. We're not perfect. We make mistakes, and once we have, Hashem gives us the gift of forgetting. It allows us to move forward, to apologize, to change. Forgetting is a heavenly mercy.
But then there are people who say, I'll never forget what you did.
I'll never forget should be our response only when someone does you a kindness. If someone wronged you, choosing to forget, that's wisdom. If it was a momentary lapse, a misjudgment, a flash of anger, it passes. Let it go.
That's a powerful insight. I really enjoyed learning this with you today.
Thank you. But we're running out of time, and there's so much we didn't even get to. For example, I wanted to mention the story of Rabbi Zera, who the Talmud says, Yinbava Metzia, fasted in preparation for his aliyah to Israel. He did so to forget the Torah he had learned in Bavel so that his mind and heart could open to the Torah of Eretz Yisrael.
Yeah, and there's a similar story in Nedarim where it says Moshe Rabbeinu learned and forgot the Torah over and over until Hashem gave it to him as a gift.
Right. That's hinted in the verse, Vayiten el Moshe. Vayiten el Moshe, like he gave it to Moshe, like a gift. So let's take that gift, the ability to forget. Maybe now during the month of Elul, it has a special meaning to clear space for a new beginning.
Definitely. Thanks again, and thank you to our listeners. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Just making sure I didn't forget my keys again.